drivers gone astray, caught up in the games they play. High-speed chases gone awry, serious turns into pie in the sky. Just out of jurisdiction, life during the conviction. Believe the badge in misguided fiction.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. Got me and T-Dot here, and we've got a special guest for you today. We've got Chris Carlisle with us.
Hey, Chris. Howdy. Welcome.
I guess they can't see me wave.
So we're road tripping finally. We made it all the way to Danville. We met halfway.
Yeah.
So we're here.
Got up with Chris on our TikTok page. He showed some interest on being on, and here we are. He's got a long list on his career. A lot of things that I'm interested to talk about.
Sure.
Military, paramedic. He's currently working for a fire department as a paramedic. There's one thing I want to get to. You mentioned in your bio, and it's a story I've got to hear. But
oh Lord,
he said he had a violent disagreement with a rocket.
Oh yeah,
when he was over in was it Afghanistan?
Yeah, the very violent disagreement that I lost.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. That'd be fun. We're glad you're here with us, and
thanks for having me on.
We try to keep it, chill, so that way. We don't want you to get nervous at all, and because I get nervous every time these stupid things on. And you would think I don't, but you can tell because I talk too much. So, we're glad to have you. Tell us about where you're from. How did you get into the military first, and then also just who you are?
Well, I was born and raised right outside of San Francisco. Left there during the 2008 surge. I tried the whole college thing, went to University of San Francisco, made it all of a semester realized how much I hated it.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there.
Walked into the recruiting office, and a couple months later, I was out in Oklahoma for basic. I was a combat medic, went to, did basic at Fort Stewart, and then went down to Fort Sam for all that training, and I initially started out in the reserves. So I finished all my training, went home, did one drill with the reserve unit, went, hell no. Dropped paperwork, went active duty, and then about 8 months later, I was in Iraq. Was stationed down at Fort Stewart. Did my entire 7 years there. Never left the black hole. One of my platoon sergeant was he went from E1 to E7 there. They just They just keep you there. They don't let you leave.
It is. And you would think it's one of the greatest places. I mean, it's pretty. It's right outside Savannah, and you're what?
Lots of
30 minutes, 45 minutes from Savannah. And
about 45 minutes, and you got about an hour and a half to go to Tybee Island.
Yeah, Tybee's just off the. So it's where it's at. You're close to that low country, and
we had a great time. Lots of hunting, lots of fishing. Had a lot of great times that I don't remember on River Street. Went to the beach a lot. Yeah, waiting for that skin cancer diagnosis and all that.
It's pretty down there.
I loved it.
I'll tell you this: I was. I was in the Marines, and then I joined the National Guard again. Mm-hmm. I should have just went back active, but I was needing insurance and things like that when I got out, and just not really sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. So,
still not sure.
No, I'm still searching, and and I'll be 50 in a couple of weeks, and that's weird. But so one of our first guard, your AT, we went down our annual training. We went to Fort Stewart. Stayed at those World War II.
Really shitty.
You know what I'm talking about? Next to that big giant parade deck, that big field. And the movie theaters, or not the movie, but the bowling alley's right up there behind it. You know
exactly where you're talking about. Yep.
I mean, an absolute just...
That's
it's horrible.
What year was that?
That was in 2001. It was right before 9/11. So I don't even know if those buildings are still there.
That was 500 block. I think it was.
I think so.
So that actually became my battalion's footprint.
Are all those old barracks gone? Or they?
I haven't been there in a long time, but they were still there last I'd looked. So that was my battalion's barracks area. That was my battalion's company area. And then we went to Iraq, and while we were in Iraq, they built a whole compound for our brigade, because we're the only light infantry brigade for the division. Everyone else was mechanized.
Right.
Light infantry sucks. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
And so when we came back to Iraq, we got to move into our compound. and that was right off of 144. As soon as you go out the back gate, hook a right, and it's a compound over there on your left. All brand new. That was awesome. And then we went to Afghanistan, and shortly after that, I got back, or I ended up getting out 2 years, a year and a half later. And I heard they got kicked out of that compound and moved back to main post, and someone else took that area over, unfortunately. But
it's a big area. I mean, like there was a massive like PT field in between. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
We see all the just crazy stuff going on over there. A lot of running and stuff. And we was practicing. The second time I went was after 9/11. We were heading. Our battalion was heading over to Belgium and Germany and just relieving some MPs. And even though it was infantry, we was doing gate guards to relieve them to get ready to go wherever. You know, this is before really that anybody even went to Afghanistan. They were still using, you know, soft units over there, and big army hadn't went. You know, this is still different. And actually, we went over there to add security because most of the MPs and people were still stuck in, like, still fighting in Bosnia and Serbia stuff. I mean, that's how, I mean, this is where we are. And, you know, there were still conflicts going on, but nobody, you know, everybody kind of forgot about that. But, you know, we still have folks deployed over there doing things like that. So we were relieving, building up, you know, just in case terrorists or anything happened, hit those bases. Now we went over but the second time we went was right after, I'm going to say January of 2022 to Fort Stewart. Went back down there. And I was just noticing, you know, like different stuff down there. The first time we went in the field. We see all these different wild animals. There was this ring-tailed looking, I don't know what it was. It looked like Crash Bandicoot, the Bandicoot on that. And just different alligators everywhere. It was the scariest field. Like we stayed in the barracks, and then we went to the field, and I was begging to go back in the nasty tetanus barracks where you sit down and poop, and somebody's brushing their teeth right in front of you, bare ass right in front of you. You're like, oh my God.
It's like a prison cell.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot like it. But I remember thinking, what have I joined here? I should have ran to the Coast Guard or something.
This was a mistake.
But it was it was just, it's beautiful. It was like the accommodations for the guard and the reserves was horrible. Like they didn't care.
I think they still house them in those horrid barracks over there.
It's interesting.
It's that's all tetanus and black mold. So
yes,
don't worry.
That explains a lot of things.
You're not service connected. Don't worry.
You tried.
You definitely tried.
Dang it! I'm still working on stuff. So you were there, and you went to Afghanistan with who? What?
So I was in 4th Brigade, 3rd Battalion, 15th Infantry.
15th Infantry.
I was a combat medic. I went to Iraq as a line medic, so I was the medic for a platoon. So I had about 40 dudes that I was responsible for. Went to Iraq. We were at Ramadi, going back and forth between Ramadi and Fallujah, doing everything from route clearance to just picking fights. Patrols through the desert, convoy securities, route clearance, little bit of everything, jack of all trades, master of none. Iraq sucks. 140 degrees or something in the sunlight. All sorts of fantastic. The wind blows. It feels like you just took a hairdryer and just packed it with like sand and then turned it on full blast right in your face.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic. Go touch your weapon's black, so you go touch your weapon without gloves, burn the shit out of your hand.
Yeah.
Now, had Iraq calmed down a little when you all got over there?
Yeah. So Iraq Ramadi and Fallujah weren't like they were when the Marines were there back in the day. Still a little sporty.
Was that like 07, 08?
08, 09, yeah.
Still not happy you were there.
And you were there when?
I was there 9 and 10.
Okay. So all that big push had kind of...
Yeah,
it was
tail end of the surge.
It was horribly dangerous, though.
Not a great place. I don't recommend it. The, night sky is beautiful, especially in our nods, and the locals kind of suck.
Yeah. We're not real...
They're not friendly.
They're not going to invite you in for dinner, huh? It's like, hey, we got a good idea.
And if they do, you might not want to go.
Yeah.
You might not want. I mean, the food was great. You just got to be careful.
Now, was Ramadi, is that where like lone survivor, the sniper one,
Chris
Kyle, that was where they were.
I read his book because he was at Ramadi, and then reading after I read his book and look back, I'm like, holy shit, he's talking about that glass factory. That's right there.
Yeah,
all the different bigger landmarks he was talking about. The provincial government building and all that. We had to make runs into Ramadi proper to go to occasionally. Had a car bomb go off right outside there one day, and that was wild.
Gosh.
We only did about 6-7 months in that area, and then my company got moved to Al-Assad. Went to Al-Assad Air Base, and we were training the Iraqi army, and that went about as well as you expect. And as you can see, that went great because they're they ran so fast that they ran out of their damn boots trying to get away. And then we left, I think that was summer of 2010. We came home. We were done. Stayed in the States till beginning of 13, and then we went to RC East in Afghanistan, right off of Highway 1. And our company, all the companies in my battalion got put on combat outposts. So I spent, of the 9-10 months that we were there, I spent 7 or 8 of them on the side of an outpost or on the side of a hill kind of thing. You can brush your teeth every other day. You can shave once a week. Don't really have showers kind of thing. Your clothes stand up by themselves.
Yeah. After a while, they get that ammonia smell.
The ammonia smell. They're crunchy. You're like, this ain't right. And we were there, and we closed our outpost down, turned it over to the Afghans, and then went to FOB Airborne and finished out the rest of the deployment, and then came home. And about a year and a half later, I ended up getting out. I was done.
Can't say that I blame you.
So tell us about if you can, let's hear about this. Let's hear about this close encounter.
So, spring of 2013, probably about, I think it was April or so, we went on an extended mission out to the Chalk Valley. Not a great place. It was at the time one of the most dangerous places in the world. We had to go out there because a SOF unit was with an Afghan army unit, and the SOF unit was pulling out, and they needed help getting all their equipment out. So they sent our company out there with some EOD guys. It took us like 16 hours to get into this valley.
So y'all didn't fly? I mean, y'all convoyed in?
Yeah, we had a convoy in, and we had to fight our way the entire way in. We got there, and they had to drop us more ammunition. That's how much we burned through getting in. We get there some god-awful hour. Everybody beds down. And then the next morning, we're getting ready they're all loading, the SOF guys are all loading up all their equipment, and we're getting ready to head on out. So I didn't have any gear. No one had any gear on at this, yet. Got my rifle on my back, whole 9 yards. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go take a leak before we start this thing back off and head on out.
Yeah. Another
14, 16 hours fighting our way back out.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there in front of one of the lead vehicles, and like, all right, I got to take a leak. Start peeing on the tire. And the next thing I know, there were just a loud bang. I felt some burn into my arm, and the next thing I know, I'm in the back of a truck. Don't remember really anything past that, or during that time frame there. And on my back in one of the trucks, and one of my guys is sitting there shaking me. Doc, you good? You all right, man? He's like ripping out a tourniquet to throw it up on my arm, and he's like, I'm good. And I'm roll over and I throw up. I'm really dizzy. Look down, make sure everything was still there, because that was in my hand at the time. Had to make sure the twig and berries were still intact.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I would have just kill me.
How disrespectful! Can't even let a man put his junk up before you hit him with a rocket. I mean, it's
jeez, Pete.
I was not happy. So I'm laying there just feeling like shit, and I'm laying there looking up through the gunner's hatch. And I just hear boom, 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 and I see this AC-130 kind of circling around, and it is just laying hate from where this rocket came from. I'm like, oh, well, at least I got the fucker that launched it. God. And then rolled over and threw up again. I felt like crap. Didn't get evacuated or anything. And I'd gotten peppered by some shrapnel. So the only reason that it didn't kill me, it hit from like here to that chair. The only reason it didn't kill me, so I'm well within that lethal radius of that thing, is it hit in their trash pit. So it hit in the pit itself. So it took most of the explosion. It threw most of the shrapnel up and out. And I just got hit by a bunch of tiny little slivers like that long. It up through my bicep and into my shoulder. Wasn't that bad. Never got a Purple Heart. Never got anything for it. Just kind of dealt with it. And for years afterwards, I was picking out little tiny slivers of metal. Yeah, great times.
Why wouldn't the no write up for that?
No, the PA that got sent out to our outpost, he hated me and I hated him. So the paperwork he put on there, traumatic brain injury, blast injury, it didn't mention shit about the shrapnel, didn't mention anything else. Even though he gave me a tetanus shot, didn't even document the tetanus shot in my medical record. So I got fucked out of a Purple Heart. But then I look back at all of our other guys that got messed up and did get Purple Hearts. I'm like, I'm all right. If that's fine. Maybe I didn't really earn that. That
seemed to be a common practice then.
Yeah. I'm like,
I hate that.
Didn't get evacuated and had to fight our way back out with a brain injury, dizzy, throwing up every couple hours.
Yeah.
Felt like shit. Had to wear sunglasses, staring at a computer for the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
It was all sorts of fun. Now I get migraines, get 2-3 migraines a month at least. That's that residual effect from the blast injury. It took years for the VA to finally admit, like, okay, you know what, you're right. You did get blown up. You do have a brain injury, and you did have shrapnel in your arm. So I'm like, cool. Am I going to get my Purple Heart? Like, no, you got to petition Congress for that. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's never going to happen. All right, I'm just going to write that one off. I thought about trying to get one from like a surplus store and stick it in my shadow box and then put like an asterisk next to it in the box.
So listen, I did get blown up, I swear.
But the VA finally, a couple months ago, finally admitted up my disability rating and everything and said, you're right. I'm sorry you had to fight us for 10 years for this, but
I fought with them for, it's tough. And I don't understand sometimes why. Yeah, man, I'm hurt. I didn't go into the military with ringing in my ears and headaches now and shoulders I can't, put my hand, it's just, I promise you. But we don't see nothing in it. But, it just wasn't, you just didn't go to sick call.
No,
it was. I mean, you were a doc and you didn't go to sick call.
I'm the medic. I can't. Yeah. I'm not supposed to. No, I got to take care of guys. And if they say me being a little girl about something, then they're going to start judging me, and I can't have that.
So it wasn't. It's frowned upon to go see the medic.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be
you don't want to be that guy.
Exactly.
But the always getting the chit or whatever y'all called it.
And the profiles and everything.
Profiles and stuff. I mean, I knew guys that would.
You don't want to be a sick bay commando.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I knew them, and they probably got 100% disability now, but
get for stupid things. I sprained my ankle once.
Yeah.
You would think that the VA would be more inclined to take care of its people.
And I've been going here lately. I've started going back to them for stuff, and I found a doctor I like there.
Good.
And so that's helped. I just use it more for physicals, stuff like that. Annual checkups.
They did hook you up with some good hearing aids at least.
I did get
good hearing aids.
I do, and I'm tickled with that. And I might be listening to music right now. You just never know.
They're awesome. I'm sitting there taking phone calls, listening to music. No, the hearing aids are great. I'm terrible. I never wear mine. I did wear it for a while, and then the whole COVID thing happened, and having to wear over-the-ear hearing aids, and then a mask, and then glasses. I'd go take the mask off and fling a hearing aid across the room.
Oh yeah,
they dig into my ear, especially when I wear a hat. They'll dig right there, and it gets sore. But I'm kind of used to it now. I'm like, it's my own little crease I've got in it now. But what I did find that I do like about these over, is like they were like, if you lose them, you get like one time, and they replace them every 5 years. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, because you can't buy these. And I mean,
They're
they're
god awful expensive.
$10,000 if you get what I've got in my ears right now. If I went to the wherever, these would be $8,000 for this stuff. So I appreciate that side of it, because I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to go deaf. I didn't want.
Yeah, right.
I'd love to be able to hear. So it's part of it.
Those hearing aids, they're pretty awesome. But after COVID, I tried wearing them again, and I realized, like, damn, y'all loud.
Yeah,
I stopped wearing them.
I wouldn't, if it was just the deafness, I wouldn't even wear them. But they really helped me with the ringing.
They do help drown it out.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
That's what drives me crazy. Is I just can't hear. Okay. But that ringing, that constant, I'm like, oh, just enough. Come on.
I've got the ringing, and then I'm almost totally deaf in my right ear now. So it's the girl I'm seeing now, and then my ex-wife and everything. You know, they'll get frustrated with me. Like, I've been talking to you the last 5 minutes. You didn't hear anything?
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, part of that's selective just from us being men, but
we can't say that. Then they get real mad.
Yeah.
I think I kind of get tired of just always going, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just changed a lot as my hearing's gotten a little worse, and it's frustrating for people. Like, and now I see my son or my daughter is just shaking their head at me like, he didn't hear a word we said. And I'm like,
nope, not a damn thing.
Yeah.
TV's up loud. I'm sure my neighbors in my apartment don't appreciate that. But
so you got out in what year?
15,
and then you started into.
So when I was in the military, I got married to a military police officer, and we moved from Stewart to Lubbock, Texas, where she was from, where her parents are at. You know, she ended up going to Texas Tech and did phenomenal there. I'm very proud of her still. And then I ended up following in the footsteps of my dad. My dad's a paramedic fireman. He's been a paramedic since I was like 2. My mother was an LPN, and then I think she ended up getting her RN and everything. So I grew up around the medical field, and then Dad became a fireman, I think, when I was like 5. So I grew up around ambulances. I grew up at, going to the firehouse and messing around with the fire engines. So that wasn't my first choice, though. I really wanted to be a pilot. My grandfather flew F-8 Crusaders off the Oriskany during Vietnam.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Right? That's awesome. So I grew up on his knee, him telling me stories, and this is how you fly, and him showing me whole control services, like, this is what this does, this is how you read this is what that does. Like, oh, that's awesome. So I wanted to be, growing up, I really wanted to be a pilot. And when I got out, I tried to go follow that path initially.
Yeah.
Tried to go get finished ground school, and then had to go get my class 1 medical because I wanted to go into commercial aviation. And I walked in there, and they're like, well, you put on here that you have a brain injury, and that you take some depression meds, and you had a loss of consciousness with that, and you collect disability. And like, we can't approve you. You can't fly any aircraft that requires a medical clearance. Like, you can go fly a light sport aircraft, experimental stuff, because that requires a driver's license, and you can fly drones. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
So that dream shot down and died in that office. So I was trying to figure out what to do. Realize, I still really liked the medical field. So I started doing like interfacility transports, and got hired on at the Lubbock County Detention Center, and doing their medical stuff in their clinics. And that was like, all right, this is what I need to do. I still really enjoy the medical field. So I went and got my advanced EMT, and then went to fire academy, and then got my paramedic. And I did the whole fire service thing for about 5 years, but I ended up having to walk away from it because I destroyed my back in the military. Again, light infantry, don't recommend it. Shit's heavy. So I ended up having to walk away.
about it, apparently.
No, not a damn thing, man.
So mechanized means they put it on a Humvee or a
strapped to the
truck,
outside.
and you're riding. And I didn't. Our quick story. I'm gonna go backwards. So I just had joined the Guard, and I was a combat engineer battalion in the Marines, and we did a monthly 15 to 20 mile hump.
Sounds about right. Yep.
Just our battalion commander loved it, and he said that's going to be our battalion PT is going to be a ruck, hump for us, what we call them. And I was a 240 golf A gunner.
Even
so I had
better.
that, and I had, all the, so I get to the guard and we're getting ready to go to this AT, the first one down there at Stewart, and they're talking about this 20-click road march.
Oh, it's sand too. That's even better.
But the good news, I was looking around. I looked at some buddies of mine that were in the Marines. That he was like, "We're on tracks, man. We're good." I was like, I said, I didn't get into this to go just humping again, rucking again. And he said, "Well, we're on track. They just call it that." I was like, "Road marches mean road marching." So it freaked me out. I was like, I'm not doing that. I will quit. I swear I'll quit.
You start looking at it and adding up the weight, like your kit, just, without ammunition, without water, without batteries, without night vision, you're looking at it, 30 to 40 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start adding ammunition. I carried 7 mags in Iraq and then 10 in Afghanistan. Then you got your first aid kit, you got, your Camelback full of water, you got some extra batteries, you got, whatever else you shoved in your pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Then your bag.
And then your rucksack, which is, whatever it needs to be. And, unless you're back in garrison doing ruck marches and stuff, then, say it needs to be at least 30 pounds and they'll weigh every buns for the goes, or it needs to be at least 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So I got to carry that. And then I got to carry the aid bag, which depending on which bag I got is going to be anywhere between 30 and 50 pounds, depending on which big sack of goodies I grab to take with me. And then you go for a nice long walk, and then they get shocked when your back's destroyed. It's great.
Yep, it's funny. You're like, why does it hurt here? Why am I hurting in my upper back and neck? Why is it? Oh, you put all that stuff. You're walking like this with a gun, a gun or the tripod, trying to figure out how to carry that stuff. It just breaks you down.
No,
So you went to the fire service. Back just was shot.
Yeah, I did it for 5 years, and I loved it. Cutting cars apart cutting cars apart's real fun. I love going
Jaws of Life and all that.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. And then going into fires is a hell of an experience. Loved it. By the time I ended up having to walk away from the fire service, I was up for promotion to lieutenant. I was one of was a fire instructor. Had my instructor certifications. Had hazmat stuff, extrication stuff. I had a fistful of certifications, but I ended up having to walk away because it got to the point like, if I go into this fire and I got to drag someone out, I'm going to do it, but I'm useless after that. Or my biggest fear was going in there and then not being able to drag somebody out.
Right.
Like I'm not going to have that on my conscience.
If you get to that point to where your body's not able to do, to save somebody else.
What's good is you recognize that, and that a lot of people just, I can do it.
I can
my
do it.
ego's too, but at least you was like, man, if I can't, I can't.
I couldn't. I ended up walking away before someone got hurt, or I hurt myself more. So I just, by that time, I was already a paramedic and I had been for a couple of years. So I just focused on that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm career paramedic. Probably not a great career choice, honestly. But
well, depending on where you're at, I think
that's what it depends. Good, yeah. That's really what it depends.
The station really depends. Yeah.
Like, working for private services, that's horrid. Then you got hospital-based EMS, which is a little bit better, but working as a paramedic for the fire services is where it's at, especially if you can work where I'm at, outside the Louisville area with, in those departments where we're fortunate in that we have fire services that also have an EMS side to it, and you can be on that EMS side. You don't have to have fire search. You don't need to do the fire side. So that's where I'm at. I'm on the EMS side of my department, and that's where I'm going to stay. So I'm fortunate enough to have found a place where it is 100% feasible to be a career paramedic, and I'm paid well. My benefits are fantastic. I have a phenomenal schedule. I love everybody I work with, fire side and EMS. Chain of command's great. Training and equipment is phenomenal. I'm going to die or retire there. I ain't leaving. I'm fortunate.
48s, or is it?
So our base schedule is phenomenal. It's 24/72.
That is nice.
Fantastic. Yeah. But then I work a god awful amount of overtime. Like this week, I think I've got a day or two off.
Yeah.
I go in sometime next week for, I think, a 96. Like I work a god awful amount of overtime.
Now, are you all busy?
Depends on our station. So we have 4 stations. Our station 1 has their ambulance is what's called ungeofenced.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Louisville Metro can pull it to make runs into Louisville and the
Like
surrounding
mutual
areas.
aid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're usually fairly busy. My station, I just got moved from the second busiest station. I was at our station 3, and that wasn't terrible. That was on average probably 7 calls. That's
not
not
bad.
really
No.
not bad. Now I'm at the slow station and I run like 3. I get to sleep most of the nights.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't blame you for wanting to stay there and retire.
All right, so you're from the Bay Area in California.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And how did you end up in Louisville, Kentucky area from the military? And I figured that would.
It's a very interesting wiggly route. So when we got out, we went to Lubbock, Texas, and then we were there for 5-6 years. Ended up moving back to Georgia, right outside of Stewart, because while we were there, we ended up buying a house. When we moved away, we just threw it up for rent. Never had a problem getting renters because it was 30 minutes outside the back gate. So never had an issue.
Right.
Moved back into that house. We lived there for probably 2-3 years. That was right as COVID was hitting its peak. And at that time, I'd walked away from EMS. COVID was not great, especially in a very dense urban area. We were running multiple cardiac arrests a day. We were finding lots of dead people, lots of people that we knew were going to die. And that took a toll really, really fast. So I walked away for probably 2 years, ended up starting a company with one of my buddies that I served with. And we did like home renovations and bathroom remodels and just general stuff. And that worked great until all the supply chain issues started hitting. And then, a 2x4.
2x4. You paid for it.
You were getting bent over for it. Thing of OSB costing you $60 to $100.
Jeez.
So we couldn't keep up with those prices. We couldn't, because we'd have to raise our prices to the point where we're no longer competitive. So we weren't going to get any business. So we saw the writing on the wall and shut down before we ended up going bankrupt. We knew what was going to happen with that. And Lord knew how long those supply chain issues were going to last. Shortly after that, my ex-wife was offered a job down in Fort Myers, Kentucky, or Fort Myers, Florida, doing she worked for a major security company doing representative stuff, and I don't remember what it was called, but she was one of a regional manager.
Okay.
So we moved down there, and we were there for a couple of years, and then Ian hit and decided to do $100,000 worth of damage to my house. And Ian was wild, man. It made landfall as a Cat 4, but then every time the wind blew, it was Cat 5. Like, it was wild.
Where did that come in at?
That came
in at Fort Myers,
right? Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. It smacked right into there. So yeah, that was interesting. My first and last hurricane. Not doing that shit again.
Did you stay?
Yeah, we stayed in the house because it wasn't supposed to smack us head on. And then the last second, it made just that right turn and came right in at Fort Myers, Cape Coral. Yeah. And that was, we're sitting there watching the radars like, oh, we fucked up.
We should left. If you went south.
It was my ex-wife and my daughter, and we're just riding it out. That was interesting. Did $100,000 worth of damage to the house and ended up having to sue the insurance company to cover it. We'd lived in that house like a year and a half, and it was very nice. It was only a couple of years old when we moved into it, so you didn't have any real issues. I had all the documentation from when I bought the house from the inspections. There was no issues. Ian hits. I go to the insurance company. I'm like, all right, this is what's up. I've had another inspection. This is everything that was found. It's going to be about this much, and file the claim. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that was all existing. But here's $500 for food spoilage.
Wow.
And that threw me through a damn loop. So I spent almost a year trying to sue the insurance company. Finally got them to cover the vast majority of everything. Got the house all fixed. And then about that time, the ex-wife was offered a job at the Louisville assembly plant for Ford as a outside contractor. So she got hired by Pinkerton Investigative Services, which is really cool if you know anything about Pinkerton.
Yeah.
She got hired by them to be a special investigator, and her job was doing like all the outside investigate, or she was like the third party investigator. So any real serious allegations that came through, it was her job to investigate them, do the interviews, and come up with, what happened and why and who seems to be at fault and everything, and then hand it over to Ford, and they would deal with it from there.
The Pinkertons are old, man. They were
old,
railroad police. Yeah.
Stagecoach security, riding shotgun with a sawed-off double barrel. Yeah. So that was really cool when she got hired by them. And she worked there for probably 2 years or so. And then the plant closed down for renovations at the end of last year. And they're probably going to lose quite a bit of jobs when that plant opens back up, because they're adding a lot of automation. And it doesn't look like that they're going to need, or they're not going to have the staff anymore to warrant an outside investigator. And they're probably going to have to cut like one of their HR people, because they don't have the staff to warrant, or they don't have the employees to warrant having that many there. So she's probably not going to get offered that position back. So she, about that time is when we decided to go our separate ways. She moved back to Lubbock. But I've got hired here at the fire department. Like I can't. Right. This is a career, and this is the once in a lifetime career. I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I looked, because I wanted to be near my kids. I want to be a dad and everything. And looked around. I was going to end up taking a $30,000 to $40,000 pay cut to move down to Lubbock again. Like I cannot afford that. And I wouldn't have anywhere near the benefits that I have now. No retirement to speak of. Like
I would imagine that your retirement would start over anyways.
Yeah, because I've been out of the system and everything, and I'm just now in the Kentucky system. So, I'm here for 25 years if I want to retire.
Yeah, we've got a buddy that moved from here to Indian River County in Florida.
Yep.
Started his retirement back over.
Yep. And that would be one of the biggest issues. I'm about to turn 36, and I'd like to actually retire and not work until a couple days after I die.
Amen.
So now I'm up here, and
it's a good feeling, boys.
I'm sure it is. I'll get there one day.
I retired at 46. I mean, it was I was almost 47, but I was 46 when I called it quit. I'll be 50 soon.
I'm looking at 53, I think, is what my age will be.
That's not too
bad at all.
No, I mean, you're still young enough to be able to enjoy.
Yeah.
You collect your retirement, do a nice part-time gig, and that's your spending money.
So I said at that point in time, I'll go work at the Dollar General. I don't care.
Yeah. SRO, hired gun.
No. Once I take a gun belt off, it ain't going back on.
It's done.
I'm feeling it. No, so you liking Kentucky, or is it just
I love Kentucky. It's beautiful up here. It's green, whereas Lubbock is flat and dusty and terrible, and not a fan of Lubbock. I'm
trying to think on which Texas is humongous. So is Lubbock towards the oil fields and stuff? Is that way? Or is
it's just north of the Permian Basin. So you drive like an hour south, and you're in the Permian Basin, and it's oil fields for days.
Okay.
All the guys that I went to paramedic school and fire academy with, they're all still there. They're Lubbock firemen, or they work for the oil fields themselves and everything, and so they ain't leaving anytime soon.
Not because they're not going to kill them down on the oil field.
Oh, dude, one of my buddies is that I went to paramedic school with. He's, I think, a battalion chief down for one of the fire departments in the oil field, and that dude's clearing. Yeah, well north of six figures a year, loving his life. And like, you hiring?
See, you might have moved back for that kind of
if I could get on there, I'll go. I'll go back
that would be worth it. Yeah,
I'm not cheap, but I can be had.
That's me. That's my motto. I am a hired gun right now. I will go.
Throw enough zeros on that paycheck, I'll go wherever. Let's play a game. I looked at trying to go overseas as a contractor, and was offered a position with one of the larger companies, Triple Canopy, doing stuff in Baghdad as a medic. And they offered me the position, and everything was going through. I'd put all my paperwork in, and it was just waiting for State Department approval. And then all the drawdown started, and then we pulled out and everything. So that got canceled. I'm like, well, that was like $250,000. Yeah. That was, that sucks.
They were paying big money then, and
it may be a shitty country, but again, there's enough zeros on that paycheck. I'll go back to the sandbox for a little while.
Yeah,
that's tax free too.
Yeah, that would have been a great time. Yeah. But and shortly after that, shortly after that got turned down, by that time I was already back in EMS and everything. So I think at the time I was working for Amazon in southern Indiana. They had a massive warehouse out there, so I was on their medical staff out there, and it was just not for me. So that's when I decided to go back to the ambulance and worked for a private company that was god awful and terrible in southern Indiana.
So it was just a private EMS,
Really bad private company that started doing interfacility transports in central Indiana, and then they somehow managed to land this contract for Clark County, Indiana. So I worked for them for several months, ended up becoming a shift supervisor, and then the lawsuit will not allow me to discuss that further, but got terminated, and it was not correct, and I fought it and won. And right about time that lawsuit cleared is when I was given this opportunity with the fire department that I'm at now, and I'm not leaving. I'm the happiest I've ever been as a paramedic. So
that's awesome.
It's phenomenal. I love where I'm at.
Good. I'm glad you found a home up here in the Bluegrass State.
I love it. I just got to go find a place to go hunting.
Did you have to work the Derby at all?
Nope. I was out of town for all that nonsense. Thank God. I was there for Thunder over Louisville, but we didn't have to do anything for it, so I got to watch the fireworks show on the TV in the fire station.
That place. The Derby is it's all hands on deck usually. I mean, especially with law enforcement. And I couldn't imagine. I think it's untelling if they take half of all the posts, like state police. I don't know how many.
There's a lot of them. There's at least 50 troopers.
I was watching it last week, and it was all you see was like, oh, there's troopers, like lines and lines of them.
Well, yeah, because you've got the actual facility security that they work, and then they do, I guess, VIP security also.
And then
escorting
Yep. And then they also increase general patrols in the areas, and then they start increasing traffic enforcement and everything. And
I mean, I guess you've got kind of a Homeland Security.
You got the FBI there.
FBI's there. They're
doing stuff. Since it's that type of event.
FBI and ATF are all there, and then they pull in the majority, huge portions of Louisville Metro and Louisville Fire and the Louisville Police and everything. I think I read something recently. I think it was during Derby. It becomes like the Derby Festival itself essentially becomes like the third largest fire department in the state or something just for that weekend.
Yeah.
It's insane the amount of support personnel that go into it. And
could you imagine running Central Command on that?
Oh,
trying to keep up with all of
I'm sure they got it down pat. I'm sure it's broken up really well, but
they got enough practice.
They've had plenty of
I can just imagine all those assets moving, all those moving pieces.
I think it's in the top probably 5 sporting events of the year. Super Bowl and
I could see that.
It's one of the especially in the U.S. as far in a non-World Cup year. We got World Cup coming to the U.S. next year, and it's going to be huge all over. I think they're playing it in several different areas.
That's this year.
Yeah, this year. That's this year. Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty cool. But that's a 4-year deal, but Super Bowl, the Derby. They were talking about some of these other sporting events, but the Derby's like
right up there.
Way up there with the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Huge events. So
you can watch, because I'm an aviation nerd, I'll pull up the flight tracker stuff, and I'm sitting there watching all these private jets flying for a Derby.
They come into Bowman usually, don't they?
They'll go into Bowman, or depending on the size of the jet, sometimes they'll go land at Louisville International or Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
and it's a lot.
Wild. Yeah, it's wild. It's the amount of. It's a huge event.
Serious money involved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big money. It's a good race too. So. Tell us one of the craziest stories, funniest, wildest calls you've ever been on.
I got a couple. Let's see. I was a newer medic, and my partner was actually one of the guys that I went to paramedic school. So you got 2 fairly junior medics on an ambulance. Like, that's a little scary. All right. And we get called out. We were on night shift, so it's like 2, 3 in the morning. Get called out for a seizure. I'm like, okay, fairly run-of-the-mill call, whatever. Fire gets dispatched with us, and we go there, and it's a seedy hotel. Get up in there, and this scantily clad young lady is on the couch, just out. I'm like, okay. it's my partner's call. So he goes with fire and he starts doing patient care and stuff. And I drag this guy around the corner into the kitchen and I'm talking to him like, hey man, what happened? Trying to get any information that I can while he's doing patient care. What's her name? Her birthday, social, medical history, medications. Did she fall? Is there any drugs or alcohol? And just going through all that, trying to get as much information. And, he describes, what sounds like a seizure. Like, okay, cool. And then he happens to throw in there and then, so I put peanut butter in her mouth. Like, you do what now? I put peanut butter in her mouth. That's what you're supposed to do, right? When someone has a seizure. And right as I'm about to lean around the corner and tell my partner, Greg, hey man, check her airway. I hear from around the corner, hear him yell, who the fuck put peanut butter in this broad's mouth? And I stick my hand around the corner and he's got the one of our laryngoscope blades we use for intubation. He's sitting there using it as a spoon, scooping this out of her airway and flinging it onto the floor.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
Like, ooh,
That's on my list to check up on.
I don't know where these people come up with these homemade remedies, but do you remember when we were having all the overdoses? And for some reason,
oh no, I know where this is going.
Yeah, these cats decided that they were, for some reason, to remedy an overdose, you stick an ice cube up their butthole.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we were going to that all the time. She's like, well, I stuck ice up his butt.
Still a thing.
Yeah.
Still see it every now and then.
I wonder where they got that one from. I mean, I'm sure Google would. Yeah, stick an ice cube up their butt, and that'll be all right.
That'll wake them up. That's fine.
Somebody was telling me a story at the PD. It was along the same lines. Well, they didn't have an ice cube, but they had frozen chicken legs.
That's a new one.
Yeah. So I can't remember. I'll have to find out who that was that was telling me that.
That's
the full story. But
I don't even know how I'd respond to that.
he woke up and he was angry. After the Narcan hit.
Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah.
There's a what in my butt?
Yeah.
Man, who's going to eat them tonight? Hey, you still can, bud.
Just cook it long enough. Go wash it off. You're good.
I don't think that's what Colonel Sanders meant with all those herbs and spices.
How many herbs and spices? What's it?
I don't know.
7?
That 11? Ain't one of them, though.
You sure?
I don't think
it's hilarious.
I don't think digested corn was on his list of.
No. Corn's just a tracer.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the weirdest ones.
Wow.
Peanut butter.
I've never heard of that.
That's a new one.
But it doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me with people anymore. It's just like, okay.
Peanut butter.
It takes a lot to impress me now, and I think that
What's another one? That's clever.
Awesome, yeah.
I've not heard that one. I've seen a lot of weird stuff. But never peanut butter in the mouth.
When I worked at the jail, whenever they had someone that had been taken to the ER before they were brought in to the facility, we had to go out there and clear them. Or if it was a combative person coming in, we had to go out there and just be right there while the corrections and the officers and everything dealt with it.
Yeah.
And then, if they put anybody in restraints or anything, we had to go out there and check on them every 15 minutes with the officers and, all this. So there's a bunch of reasons that we had to go out and deal with stuff like that. But I got called out there to the receiving area one day and they're like, I called up to the duty desk like, hey, what's up? Like, he's got something in his butt. Like, okay, well, this isn't the normal, this is normal. Like, yeah. Normally, I think before this, the weirdest thing I'd found that had come out was like a cell phone, or at one point, a couple shooters of alcohol. I'm like,
we call it the jail pocket.
The jail pocket, yep. And they're like, you just got to see it to believe it, man. He's got a power strip in his butt. Sorry, what? So I go out there, and he, sure as shit, had a
like a surge protector power strip.
Yeah, it was a smaller one. It was like 3 or 4 outlets on there. He's got that thing up his butt, and the cord's hanging out like a tail.
Please tell me y'all plugged him in.
Oh, that'd have been great. Little tickle.
What? Don't touch it.
Light up like a Christmas tree.
Why did he
I
explain
asked
it?
him, like, what in the name of God possessed you to put that up there? Like, we found some things in people's rears before, but
Yeah, but
this is
some of that makes sense to like, hey, I'm gonna sneak some booze in.
yeah.
That's what he was using to fish out the lamp.
Followed by the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, start talking to him. No, this dude was nuttier than a fruitcake. This dude was off. And he's like, well, the mob made me do it. I'm like, dude, this is Lubbock, Texas. The mob ain't a thing here. The cartel's all right, but
Yeah, not the mob.
the mob made me do it.
I would have believed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, the mob made me do it. Like, all right, well, you're going to the hospital. And they ended up sending back the imaging. And yeah, that was a power strip in his butt.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's commitment. Really.
Like,
I mean,
yeah, like what the purpose behind it was, if there was ulterior motive, I don't know. But all I saw was this naked guy standing and receiving with the plug-in hanging out his butt like a tail. And that's a new one. That's one of those things you walk in the room and it just kind of makes you stop. Like, is that what I think it is? Is that what that looks like?
yeah,
Doc.
I don't think that's what they mean when they talk about butt plugs.
That's
Or maybe it is.
Maybe.
he was hoping to plug it in. What do you?
Oh my gosh. I'm baffled. I'm just like, I usually have a lot of words and I'm like, what in the
What do you? Yeah, like I've had a couple calls where something got stuck in a place that it shouldn't be.
yeah.
Front and back.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a new one. Haven't seen anything like that one since. Every now and then you get the guy, I slipped on it in the shower. Well, you're full of shit, but all right, let's go. Just lay on your side on the stretcher, dude. You'll be all right.
Gosh.
Wow.
I don't
Oh, yeah. It's wild.
I mean, we've got the calls, but luckily we're like, hey, EMS is coming. Just you're good.
Don't
I'll get you
sneeze.
outside.
Just don't sneeze.
Don't sneeze. Don't. I think if people really knew the amount of just insanity of the things that people will put inside them, is ridiculous.
The ones that gets me are the things that go in the front side. Like you, sir, stuck a skewer in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
Kebabs.
like, homie. Every now and then you get the urinary catheters that a demented old guy will either intentionally pull out or it'll get caught on something and get ripped out. And there's a balloon on the end of them to keep them in place. And it'll get ripped out, and then you're standing there as a man, like, "Oh my God, are you? There's blood everywhere, and it looks like a blown out hot dog afterwards."
So we had a guy that he got charged with DUI, but he'd wrecked and killed somebody. I don't know if you were still there when we had that going on, but we had to sit with him at the hospital because he was, under arrest for murder charges. Well, while I'm sitting there with him, it was my shift to sit with him. They had an old guy in the hospital too. And he must have been, well endowed, apparently, like 90 years old. But every nurse on that floor made a trip in there. They were amazed because they had to go put a catheter in. It was,
Impressive, sir.
Plumbing still worked, apparently.
Jeez.
So good for him. Good for him.
Good. Oh my gosh.
We had a guy in Iraq who was like that. Not the putting things in the hole, but extraordinarily well endowed. And he was the most innocent kid in the world. He was like 20 at the time. And, I don't know if they did it with y'all, but they do random urinalysis testing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's the whole company. Sometimes it's just a list of random people that they pull. And they're like, all right, go in that room. And you're going to stay there and drink water. And then when you need to go pee, this NCO is going to follow you into the bathroom.
Oh, I've been.
And they're going to watch you pee.
I've been that NCO.
Same.
That was the first job you get when you're newly promoted. I was a corporal in the Marines. They promoted, as an NCO.
Yep.
Guess
Same.
what, man? Congrats.
Yeah. Guess what you're
You're
doing?
the pecker checker this week.
Yeah,
Thanks.
how terrible would that job be at MEPS? I mean, how terrible? I mean,
This ain't even. These are your buddies, man, that you're just working with.
that would make it a little better. But
No.
makes it
You
worse.
stand over there by the urinal.
You're supposed to
You
watch.
have to watch.
Yeah, you got to watch
you have
the
to make
urine
sure they-
leave the body.
Oh, so you're over there saying, "Nice belt. Is it made of leather?"
It was like,
It's not a glamorous job. It's like, welcome. You're in the Marines, you get the blood stripe on your, you're on the blue pants, you get the red stripe, and you get, they pin you, and you're like, oh yeah.
yes,
It's
I'm people now.
I've made it past, a janitor. Now I get to tell guys to go sleep and then still sleep. But, you're looking, you're sitting there and you're like, hey, congrats, you guys. It was like in March, I got promoted, and I'm like, yeah. We got urine test tomorrow. Guess what?
Guess
You're
what,
like,
bud?
Yes. Yay. But no, you got everybody stands there.
Yep.
We had a training room, and everybody just like, hey, here's the water. Get at it.
Yep.
And you could tell the guys who were going to fail it.
Oh yeah, they're sitting there
They're
sweating
sitting
and
there
nervous.
sweating it, waiting it. The last ones to go, and you're like,
You idiot.
just go ahead and get it over with.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's horrible, man. These guys.
you make the best of it. So like whenever it was my turn, the first time or two, I'm like, this is a little awkward. Then after that, I just lost my give a damn. So I made it awkward for everybody. I'd go in there and I'd hold my cup up and I'd just drop my pants down to my ankles and just stand there.
Kindergarten. Yeah. You gotta assert dominance at that point.
If you're gonna watch, I'm gonna let's do it.
It is it's the worst job as a brand new NCO, but it's coming. You have to. That's part of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen the beat. They just, like the first time I got urine test in the police department, they send you up there, and I'm like, well, just leave, don't flush. And then I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is easy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Same
you don't
on
come
our
in here
ends.
and watch me pee in this. It's
You sure you don't want to?
You sure you don't want to?
I don't know if I can go by myself.
It's awkward without you watching. Can you come? What's the name of massage
how
my
far do I have to
shoulders?
fill this up?
Come pat me on the back, or it's not gonna work.
I need the reassurance.
Yeah.
That is a job though.
Oh, we had this young kid, and he got pulled for a UA one day. And so, he goes to go to the bathroom, and the NCO follows him, and they come back out of the bathroom, and he's got his cup of pee, and he's just bright red. And the NCO goes, "Holy shit, this dude is just like." So then he somehow magically wound up on every UA for like the next 6 months, and all the NCOs were starting to fight. Like, there's no way it's that big. And then they'd come back out, and they're like, "Holy shit." This was right before we went to Iraq, and this kid was still a innocent child. So the infantry guys, he was a medic. So his
Looks like they
infantry,
found the weapons of mass destruction.
They found it. They're home wrecking.
so the infantry guys are like, you can't go to Iraq, especially where we're going, with your innocence intact. Like, we got to solve this for you. And so they ended up hiring him a lady of the night. As good friends, I guess. And they go,
We love you, man. We're
Yeah.
gonna-
Yeah.
Here's syphilis.
Here you go, Doc. Get after it. And
Make sure you take penicillin.
they were in the room a whole of like 30 minutes. And she comes back out, and she's like, I don't know what the hell y'all wanted me to do with that, but hell no. And hands him the money
Thanks,
back
man.
and leaves.
Wow.
That was one of those like,
They should just sent him into war and
Like-
pull his pants down. We
Yeah.
give.
dude's got a D-cell mag light between his legs, and she's like, dude. It was one of those like, good for you, but I'm sorry.
We talk about all this, and but the Marines and the Army, you're humbled really quick, and
Very.
you're like, the first thing honestly, well, they shave your hair and they strip you naked, man. You're going in them showers.
Yep.
And they just, like, after a PT, our first PT, I never forget it. Like you had the road guards, like your advanced party kids.
Yeah.
They would go, they was wearing the road guard vest, would stop traffic as you ran through or whatever.
Yeah.
They flew. like after, it depends on the time of year, especially like in Georgia or something like that, they turn on those sprinkler system, like they did at Paris Island, and you'd walk under those to cool off because it's summertime and the heat, man, they'd cool us off in the misters.
Oh God, I wish they would have done that.
Oh, that was great. They didn't have those at Stewart. I remember that.
No.
But we would walk through that stuff, cool down, because we was running near Black Flag territory there, so they was trying to get us cooled down. They didn't want anybody to fall out because they used to talk about the
silver bullet.
Get the silver bullet. Yep.
But I don't even know if that's true, but you're scared to death to not hydrate.
Oh, it's true.
Okay. But somebody would run up to the barracks. Those guys, the road guards would run up to the barracks and turn on all the water.
Yeah.
Sprinkle all the waters in the showers. And it's port side or starboard side, whichever side you were on. Or everybody just stripped down and got in line.
Yep.
And you just walked a circle through no soap, just held your towel up. It was a PT shower. Just let the water run over you and out, go get back dressed.
Yeah.
And that was
Just to
I was
wash
like,
the sweat off of it.
yeah.
Just a little.
Then
Yeah.
you go get dressed, throw some deodorant on, and you had like 3 seconds to get all this done.
Yeah.
Everybody in line, hold the towel, walk through it, and you're immediately like, I've seen 90 some peckers today. and that was it. You didn't even think about it ever again. That was it.
Between basic combat medic school and then being a medic in the infantry, I have seen more peckers than a hooker does in a lifetime of Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah, it's just so it's just a humbling, like, get over it, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And no big deal.
Part of it.
Part of it. Get over it. Don't be so bashful. Everybody's different, but everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting, man.
So, for those that don't know, explain the silver bullet process.
So if you go down as a heat cat, which Georgia happens quite a bit, hot, humid as hell, especially when you're out in the field for a couple days,
Daryl's saying it.
Yeah. Did he get a silver bullet?
I think he likes them.
Oh,
Yes.
I need my temperature taken. I'm feeling faint. So you go down, and if we suspect it's heat related, we need a core temperature. I need to know what your core temperature is to see how what's going on. Are you full of it, and you're just trying to get out of training, or is there something going on that I got to work and I got to get you to a hospital? And out comes the red tip thermometer, and up it goes. Got to get that core temp, and that's enough to get a lot of guys to just keep going. And who really wanted to train because they're like, "Nah, doc, I'm fine," and they're sitting there weaving, pale.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you ain't all right. You need to come with me. Where are we at right now? Bacon? Yeah, come with me. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell the difference. They talked about it. I never saw it done. I'm sure there was plenty that went down with heat because
several, unfortunately. It's not the best part of my job, but
you chose that life.
Yeah. That was not in the job description.
They didn't tell that.
Just a happy surprise.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
not only are you going to save people's lives and learn, all this, also you're going to stick this where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
And make sure they're good.
Yep.
But it's my grandfather was a medic in World War II.
Oof.
And he was talking about just some of the wildest stuff I've ever heard.
I'm sure.
He there towards the end of the war, he was they would go out to crossroads and like whatever infantry, they'd have arrows pointed this way and that way. And he had to run back to wherever their fields, their MASH unit, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And had the tank or track, something hit something, the guy bit his tongue in two.
Ooh.
So they had to take him back, get him, so he was trying to catch back to the convoy and come up to a crossroad. And they were looking to see which way it went. And there was a barn down under, pretty close. In this barn, they would look down and they hear a tank coming out, and it was a German, like a Panzer type tank come out and leveled that barrel on them. Luckily, they probably saw he says that they had that Red Cross on the side, and he said that it just kind of eased back in and took off. And
At least they didn't fire.
At least At least, I'm just like, Granddad, I was like, what if, I mean, I wouldn't be here. It's just, but I mean, the things he saw and
I can only,
but I was just like, it's the wildest stuff, He didn't tell many stories, but he kept a picture in his wallet till the day he died they liberated a camp.
Oh shit.
And he had a picture of a dead German soldier that when they got there, I guess they took some prisoners in some of the camp, some of the prisoners, GI, let me see your gun. And one of them just smoked this guy. Granddad had a picture of this, so he never forgot. And he was stoic and didn't really talk about it much, but obviously things affected him because why you carry that in your pocket? I mean, so obviously it was a reminder of how I guess humanity could really be.
How far you can fall.
Yeah. And I don't know where that picture, my dad may have it. He may, I don't know. I don't really want it, but I just wondered, like, why did you keep it? What was the significance if it affected him that much? Cause I know he was there, but I heard him talk about, he went across the Rhine River with Patton and stuff like that. You're like, wow, all this stuff that you see and hear. And I'm like, gosh, and the movies I've watched, like Granddad was here, and here. And I'm like, my goodness, it's untelling. And he never really told a whole lot of stories about it.
And I get it. Like there's a lot of stuff that happened that I do my best to forget about, that I've buried down deep. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. Right. And then there's, I didn't have it in Iraq, but in Afghanistan, I had a helmet cam, and I took the SD card out of it, uploaded into a hard drive, and it's wrapped in bubble wrap. I haven't looked at it. I've been home since 2013. I don't want to look at it.
Right.
I have it. So if one of my kids ever says, I want to join the military, all right, son, come here.
Yeah.
This is what you're signing up for. Yeah.
You watch this, I'll be outside.
Yeah. Let me know when it's done.
Yeah. That might have been, and I joined, he was in his 70s when I joined the Marines or something, but we always had a special bond, but it was just like, it was fascinating. I mean, I wonder what they hide it. That generation hid. I think they were just tough old birds or something. I don't know.
They don't build them like that no more.
No.
The greatest generation for a reason.
Plus they went through the Great Depression and all this stuff, plus the war.
And then Korea.
And they were just hard, man. These guys were hard.
They didn't complain near as much as we did.
No, we're a bunch of babies.
Yeah, they definitely don't build them like that no more.
No. Different, tough, different breed. And, it makes me nervous with war, with Iran and stuff like that. And having a 18-year-old son.
Yep.
And you hear little like, hey, they may do the draft and all this stuff. And you're just like,
well, they just automated it. The selective service is now automated.
So you're just like, Lord, no, I've been there, done that. We don't need this again.
And it always seems that the people that advocate the hardest for invading somewhere and going back to war will never walk into the recruiter's office. They've never seen it. They don't have the guts to try to do it, but they are more than willing to send some other kid to go do it for them. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's easy to spend somebody else's money.
100%.
It is
it's easy to go to war when you're not the one that has to fight.
Exactly.
It's an honor. I find it, I spent 6 years in, and it was an honor to do it. I'm proud of my service.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad I did it. It changed my whole trajectory in my life. I think it made me who I am. I think also it made me some bad things in my life. You know,
You get some of the most awesome experiences in your life there that'll change you forever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, especially if you serve during a wartime, you will see and do some of the most horrendous shit in the world. And it's not great. It's literally the best, worst job I've ever had.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. If I had to go back in time, I'd still serve, but my dumb ass would have finished college and I would have done what my grandfather wanted me to do, which was commission into the Navy and go fly.
Yeah.
Then instead, my dumb ass hated college and wound up on the enlisted side on the ground. So
that's a good way to explain law enforcement too. It's not as extreme as, wartime military, but it's still the best, worst job.
I couldn't do what y'all do. I don't have the patience. I don't have the temperament.
I couldn't do what you guys do.
If I had y'all's job, I'd be in prison by the end of the day. I couldn't take anywhere near the amount of crap y'all put up with.
Well, you just have to remember, you can do anything you want to once.
Exactly once. It's not a war crime the first time, all right?
I blood and guts I don't like it too good, but I could deal with it. But I just think,
see, that doesn't bother me.
Over and over, I think it would affect me more than I think, because I know the calls. I don't go on a call for service, especially now where I'm here, but going to a fatal doesn't happen all the time. And then I'm usually like, oh, let me turn this over to.
Well, and you're disconnected from it too.
Yeah.
You're not, it's not like, which I would imagine, as a combat medic, these guys, you're connected to these guys. So it's not.
And in some cases you spent years with them and you live in close proximity with them in the barracks and you go drinking with them,
It's not like me working a fatality for somebody that I have no idea who these people are. There's, and it sounds callous to say that, but whether they're alive or dead has no bearing on me.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. But it is somebody's family and it's hard, so you're just in work mode the whole time and you're not.
See, it would be tough. I don't know what's harder because we had just you think about guys that you served with, that you drank with, what you hung out with at the in your barracks, and play all this stuff, and then they're wounded or
and now their bunks empty.
Yeah, and they're empty, and that's got to be as affected, on your mental side of things as getting blown up. It's not, I'm sure both sides are traumatic, but you've worked and been there with this guy and then have them not there is just probably equally
seeing
tough.
The guys that you, that you have spent the last several years with get hurt. That's unforgettable. That not a great part of the job, but that's what you're there for. And then as the medic, it was my responsibility to make sure to give them the best chance of survival.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah. War is hell.
War is hell.
With all that being said, since you've worked combat and I guess private sector, what we call EMS, which did you enjoy more?
I don't know, man. Like the military is great because you had your buddies, and those are the best friends I've ever had, and I still talk to a lot of them. I don't miss the military. I miss getting to play with the toys. I miss the camaraderie and getting to play with the toys. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Everything else about the military is terrible. But
I can concur. The military, it's about the guy next to you.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it is that hurry up and wait crap, and it's horrible. How many times? So. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll do great and terrible things for that dude standing right next to you.
Yes.
And but being the paramedic side of it, I feel is more rewarding. I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's their emergency. It's not mine. They called me on the worst day of their life.
Do you feel like you're making more of a difference on this side of it? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I never have to go to bed at night wondering if I made a difference in someone's life or in someone's world. That may not be, not be every day that, you're doing something that is trying to fend off the Reaper or something, but it may just be picking Meemaw up off the floor.
Yeah.
But then there are the days you're like, I did something today. And that's nice feeling, especially when you have something super critical and what you do then and there could make a significant difference on this patient's outcome. Are they going to live? Are they not? Am I setting them up for survival? Am I doing the best that I can? And then at the end of the day, you know, I get to go lay my head down and go, yeah, I made a damn difference in this person. You know, without me, they may not have made it.
And that's an awesome feeling, knowing that you've
helped my team and I. It's not just me. It's my fire guys. It's my partner. It's all of us coming together to try to help this patient and set them up, and you know, try to help keep their family intact and everything.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that.
I agree. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on and how meeting you. It's fun. These things are about your service and about you. And so one day your kiddos can be like, that's what, you know, I've been seeing those. What was it like in the 90s, Dad? What were you like in the 90s, Dad? It's so cool to be able to,
that's an excellent ringtone.
to pass some stuff along. Stuff that you don't want.
Ringtone. Feeding.
Oh, Cap. Sorry. So, but we'll have to do this again. We want to do one where we go up there and talk to some other folks, and we'll love to have you back. And
I'd love to come back. I got plenty of stories.
Yeah, it's hard once you get started talking. I mean, stuff starts popping up in your head. It's hard to sit down and think, be like, I'm trying to think of some funny stories. But then as soon as you start talking, you're like, there's that, and there's that. And then
we got more.
I got one for you.
Yeah, give us one more before we close out here.
I've got a wild stroke that I ran. It was in Lubbock. It was a nice, an upscale, like assisted living area. This lady had a previous stroke a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And she's nonverbal now, and for the most part, can't really move. So she got moved into that assisted living area, and so she's the one that's receiving assisted living care. The husband was like, well, I don't want to live without my wife, and so sold everything and moved in with her. So he's not receiving any care. He's just there living with his wife.
Right.
Like, all right, cool, I get it. And we get a call late night for a stroke at this place. Like, okay, the old folks home, to be expected. Cool. We get there, and there's this gentleman on the couch slumped over, and took one look at him, and you're like, oh no. Yeah, this is a stroke. I was the only paramedic, so you know, I'm doing my thing and looking at him, and his respirations are wild and erratic. His blood pressure was north of 220. Pulse is starting to sink down. Pupils aren't right. So, you know, all this put together kind of indicates like there's a bleed in the brain. Yeah. This isn't just a clot in there. This is a bleed, and it's putting pressure on the brain. And once that gets bad enough, the brain will actually start to kind of push out of the bottom of your skull. That hole's called the foramen magnum. It'll start to herniate out of there. That's not great. You're not going to survive that. And you usually don't survive hemorrhagic strokes like this anyway, especially once you get to the point that you're showing these signs and symptoms. Mm-hmm. Well, he was sitting on the couch watching TV, and the staff came in and took care of the wife and put her to bed and everything, and you know, said, you know, good night, Mr. whatever his name was, and he's, you know, everything was fine. He said, yeah, good night, thank you very much. They closed the door and left. An hour or two later, the call light for that room just starts going ape shit. Press. So the nurses go in, they're like, what's wrong? And the pretty well quadriplegic wife had managed to get herself out of bed to this call button and was smacking the shit out of it. And they walk in and they're like, what's wrong? Because the husband's still just sitting on the couch. They're like, what's wrong, ma'am? And she's just kind of gesturing over to the husband, and they go check on him and realize that something was wrong, you know, what was going on. And so they call 911. We get him to the hospital, and I had to intubate him and get him to the hospital and everything. And I went and followed him to the CT room, and he's having a massive bleed. They called the neurologist, and they just put him on palliative care right then and there. He didn't see the sunrise. I started thinking back like this, they'd been married like 50 years. This quadriplegic lady had realized from across the room that something was wrong with her husband, and was able to get herself out of bed to go push this light. She knew something was wrong. And that sticks with me. I don't know why that sticks with me, but I don't know. I can't even really explain it. Like how, I guess when you've been married that long, she kind of knew something was up and something wasn't right, and he wasn't moving or acting right or something. And she was able to get to that call light. And unfortunately,
just
he
the
passed,
determination to
get him
some help. That's what's
impressive is she wherever she dug deep from.
Yeah.
And that love, you know how much love and commitment I think that takes from
My wife would have dug in and got over there and then unplugged the light.
Right. I got to charge my phone. Sorry.
Go
That
towards
is-
the light.
but she, wow, the incredible feats of just, I guess, just pure love to try to save your spouse.
I guess that goes towards like the moms that like squat, deadlift the cars off of people, just the,
It seems like that's even more because she probably hadn't. She's nonverbal. You said
Nonverbal, like she can't even get out of the bed to get to her wheelchair. Like she can't do anything herself, and she managed to do this.
Jeez,
that is wild.
Unfortunately, I ended up having to go back a couple months later and declare her dead. She had a DNR, so we didn't do anything. I ended up having to go back and declare her dead maybe 2 months later, unfortunately. But
It's usually how that kind of works that way. They grieve themselves to death.
impressive.
yeah, that one was wild.
The stories that we've heard on here and the things that people have seen. We've been talking a lot about last year at this time of year. The tornado came through our hometown.
Yeah,
And we've had a couple talking about that, a couple of different episodes. But
I was up in Indiana for that. I was the shift supervisor, and I got all my ambulances to find spots at the local firehouses so they could go take shelter, but there was nowhere left for my partner and I and our ambulance to go. So we backed down at the mall in Clarksville, just back into one of their loading bays. So we were somewhat sheltered, and we're sitting there watching lightning and it's thunder and hail and, just raining sideways. And I'm sitting there looking out the window. I see green lightning. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before. Looked it up. It's because there's a tornado on the ground over there. But I'm sitting there typing a report, and my buddy, my partner, the ambulance is sitting there rocking back and forth in the wind. And so he's got me on video just sitting there typing a report. And he goes, so what do you think about all this, Chris? This is your first tornado. And I just kind of look at him like, well, I've always wanted to be a flight medic, so if we take off like Dorothy, I guess my wish is fulfilled.
that's
It's all fun and games. You see the old woman on the bike.
yeah.
Yep. Then it's bad news.
We went through a hurricane, went through a tornado. It's
And I've been through living in California, the earthquakes. So I think I've kind of hit the trifecta here.
yeah, you're good.
You just need a volcano, and
We
got them
golden.
all.
Right. Good times. Every now and then he'll still send me a message like, you a flight medic yet? No. You find another tornado? No.
Let's go. That one last year.
That's
it's
enough
about this
for a long time. Yeah.
I'm good. If I get freaked out if they even talk about
I believe
watches. I don't want no part of them. So
I've listened to the stories that came off this podcast from that, and that just sounds wild.
Yeah,
It was bad. It's probably the worst, I guess, natural disaster we've had
we've had some
in
floods
this area.
and stuff, but that one just kind of like
Nothing with that kind of death toll or
that
damage.
day we did a podcast with Sonny, and he was telling basically that serial killer, the one he helped solve, and that was that day, and we finished that up, and it was dark outside, and I went to another event. There was a buddy of mine was singing downtown London, and went to listen to him because I didn't have electric in my house from a storm that came through earlier. And I mean, who would have known? I thought the worst of it was, through kind of, and you're like,
And then here it comes.
and then a monstrosity happens, and you're like, just never.
Events like that are wild, man. You'll see the best of humanity come out.
Yeah.
And it was like that after Ian too. After everything had cleared, everyone and their mothers outside with chainsaws and shovels and brooms. And
I saw there was a tornado that went through this week down in Mississippi, and my favorite group was down there, and they were on TV, the Cajun Navy.
Oh,
Them
yeah, they're
cats,
awesome.
man. I don't know how they do it, and I don't know how many volunteers or whoever they've got, but they are ready to go. They've impressed me so much. I'm like, man, how do I get a part of that or become one of them? I guess you got to live in Louisiana. I don't know, but they're pretty handy, man. They were up here for our tornado and then in the floods. But I'm highly impressed with that group. They don't care, man. They get after it. They don't care.
They came out for Ian, and if I remember right, they went out for those bad floods in Texas that hit that Girl Scout camp.
Yeah, they were there.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I'm like, man, these guys are the. I don't know if they started out at Katrina. I can't remember.
I think they started out with Katrina.
Yeah, so they've been around a while and they know what they're doing. So it's pretty impressive.
The best of humanity.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Don't see enough of that in our line of work.
No.
We see a lot of the worst, but it is so refreshing to see good folks trying, even if they don't like each other, all of a sudden they're working together at a common goal. So
once we got our neighborhood cleaned up, I went downtown to go help with the cleanup, and I hadn't seen that level of destruction since being deployed. That was wild to just see houses leveled, concrete ripped from the ground.
There was two. What was the two hurricane? The one that flooded all of in North Carolina. That one, and then there was another one that happened later.
Irma,
whatever.
And
like a couple
Harvey
years ago,
did some damage,
something like that. A couple years ago, there was back-to-back hurricanes come in kind of in the Tampa Bay area that kind of that went on up, and we've got family down there. My father-in-law lives there, and we went down there, and I just couldn't believe. It was a couple of weeks later. It was after the second one. And you go down there and all your old favorite restaurants, they're gone. Yeah. And then you keep going, you go down there. We was down there and they're not rebuilt back, and some have, and they just carve out a path, and they don't, Mother Nature just doesn't care about your feelings and your wants and needs. But what I learned was, you probably noticed this at the beaches and stuff, that all the sand that washed in, they pile that up so high.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they just sift it, just put it back on the beach like everything's anew.
Yep.
And then people that live there and go through that, they just keep on, they know it's coming.
Keep on trucking.
They keep on doing it.
They get ready for the next one. Like, the one was enough for me.
Yeah. But people stay in them, so, man, I don't know.
I'm good. Nope, I'm up here now. I'll take the occasional possibility of a tornado over that again.
Well, the good thing about Kentucky is if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes.
Yeah,
no kidding.
It'll change. I'm expecting rain on the way home, so we'll see.
It was in the 50s, a week ago, and then today is back in the 70s. Like, this is wild. Can you pick something?
Just
70 in the day, low of 30 at night.
Getting tired of having to take. Yeah, I'm getting tired of having to take my rain stuff and then my winter stuff and then my summer stuff to work every day.
I don't know what to bring with me. I've got it all.
I'd like to pack up my winter stuff. That'd be nice, please.
So, you ready? Man, this has been a good one. We really appreciate you.
No, dude, thanks for having me out here. This is phenomenal. I'd love to come back out if y'all ever come up to Louisville.
Again. The plan, we talk about this, I think, every podcast, but eventually is to start doing video and to get a group of all of us together and kind of do one big.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
there's a group of Louisville folks I'd love to get together that we've interviewed, so it'd be fun.
I'll take you around the firehouse.
Yeah.
So next time we'll come to you.
I'll let you all go live your dream and maybe pull a fire hose and squirt some water.
Yeah, I made the wrong choice long time in my career path. If I could have just scored higher on that test.
Oh, that civil service test gets you every time.
Sure will.
All righty.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Later, y'all. Thanks.